Yo guys, it's Vin, and today I want to make a quick little rambly video about the difference between passive and patient in Brawlhalla. Now, there's a big misconception in this game that you need to be passive to win, and this isn't entirely true. I mean, maybe you think this, maybe it sounds familiar, maybe you have a friend that says this. I would greatly appreciate it if you watch this all the way through and maybe send this to them. I would greatly appreciate the watch hours, but also maybe I can try to change their mind. Anyway, let's just start from the very beginning. Passive is a part of Brawlhalla. I mean, it's just the nature of the game. The game rewards you for playing defensively because one, you have a ground jump, you have two aerial jumps, a recovery, a dodge. The moment you hit the ground, your dodge timer resets, and you can actually even cancel your spot dodge into a GC and get SIGs or combo starters for some insane punishes and combos. Now, the thing is with that is, yeah, I'm not going to deny it. Brawlhalla is passive, and I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me. But you don't need to be passive to win. You just need to be patient. Now, there's a key difference between those terms. Patience, for starters, is just not throwing out attacks when you don't need to. Now, of course, there is no real pressure to throw out attacks ever, but there are certain people who take that to the next level. And these are players who are overly passive. Have you ever faced someone in ranked who just does this all game? Well, I have a lot of problems with this. There's only maybe two upsides of this, which is one, you're not getting hit, which I will address why this is not really a plus in a second. And the other plus to this is that you're tilting your opponent. But we're not really talking about mental game. This is not another one of those videos. Excluding that, talking about pure game sense, why is floating above your opponent and just running away from them, maybe even hugging the wall, why is it bad for you? Well, you're restricting your options. Also, the mentality that if I'm not getting hit, then I can win the game, that's not really exactly true. Because the objective of Brawlhalla is to kill your opponent 3 times. And if you're just running away like this, your opponent is getting free chances to hit you. Think about it. I'm constantly putting myself in an opportunity for them to punish me because I'm burning my options, and every single time I move or input a new button, I put myself in usually a worse position to punish them when they try to chase me down. And the same thing goes not only for people who are just floating around you like this, but also people who are just running the pacer test in general around you. Literally anyone who's just avoiding you like a plague is definitely going to be susceptible to missing at least a few opportunities to punish you per game. And now that is the main point I wanted to get to in this video, which is the difference between high-level defensive play and low-level defensive play is us lower elo players, gold, platinum, even low diamond, don't know why we're running away. Like I said, the objective is to kill your opponent 3 times, so the main objective of running away shouldn't be to survive, I mean, unless you're in 1 stock red, and it's match point, but the main objective isn't that. The main objective is to bait out your opponent's options to make it easier to punish them and subsequently kill them 3 times. Now, let's look at a concrete example. Let's look at a player like Megdi. Megdi is someone who's, at least in the videos that I've seen recently of him before making this video, he's kind of just standing here doing nothing. And now this isn't a style of play that I want to promote, but just think about it. This is much better than just doing this, right? Running around the stage, because you are on the ground, so you have access to all your grounded moves, your true combos, because all of them are going to be starting on the ground. And also you have access to your movement options. Now, doing just this is not enough. If you do this over and over in the game, nothing is going to happen. Now, how do you make something happen? Well, you may be saying, well, Vinperm, this isn't being passive if you're inciting an action. Well, that's kind of the point of the video. The difference between passive and patience is simply just not throwing out attacks when you don't need to. But it doesn't mean you can't move around your opponent. A great way to incite attacks and make the match go by faster while still maintaining a very defensive playstyle is just using your movement options wisely. The first step to doing this is, of course, staying on the ground, so you have access to all of them. The next thing, well, I go over this in my movement guide, all the different options, but let's just briefly go over it now. You can dash dance, you can dash jump, dodge back, you can just dash jump over them in general, you can dash spot dodge, or anything like that. Any single movement option is going to be better than just running at your opponent for no reason. Of course, you don't want to be over moving because you're going to get punished by locking yourself in active frames, but in either case, a big part about being patient is just not throwing out attacks until you know it's going to hit. And how do you know it's going to hit? Well, they gotta be in recovery frames. That is probably the safest way to land a move. And how do you get them in recovery frames? You gotta bait out an attack. Now, if a player will go, if I go like this every single time, a dash sidelight, this is me being impatient. I'm just running at my opponent, and this Bodvar is downloading my timing. Every single time I'm in front of him, he knows I'm gonna dash sidelight. Well, what does he do? He's going to do literally anything to avoid it the next time I'm in this range. But, so let's say his option is he does a backdash and then maybe like a sword sidelight or something like that to punish me. Well, next time, instead of dash sidelight, I will take that into note and I will do a dash dance, right? He thinks I'm gonna sidelight, so he tries to punish me, but in reality, I backdash and now I punish him with a stomp Sair. That is a very basic form about being patient, using your movement options to dance around them and bait out an attack. And now I wanted to spend the last part of this video talking about the other side of the spectrum. When people say, oh, this guy is so passive, all he does is run away. Well, in reality, a lot of people don't actually want to play passive. A lot of people are actually trying to play the game just like you are. A lot of times, it's not them being passive, it's just you being impatient. Like I said, the same example. If I just run at my opponent every single time and dash sidelight, he's going to understand the timing. And on the same note, if I just run at my opponent, throwing out moves over and over again and chasing him, of course he's gonna run away, right? Any smart person would run away. And that's the point where they start avoiding your attacks, and then these lower elo players will say, oh, this guy's just running away from me. Well, he wouldn't be running away from you if you just didn't chase him. So instead of just chasing your opponent like that, stay on the ground, walk up to them, maybe walk back, see how they react, maybe dash dance this time, maybe do like this. Anything so that you're not chasing them, but you're not running away from them. You gotta find that middle ground to the point where they feel safe enough to where they can throw out an attack, and when they do, you're ready for it, and now you can punish them. So anyway, guys, I'm sorry if this video was very rambly. Again, send this to anyone who you think it would help, who complains about Brawlhalla being passive. Again, I'm on your side. I know Brawlhalla is very passive. This is just a big misconception I wanted to talk about today briefly. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.